H. Holmes, America's First Serial Killer, by Gillian Pierce. Who was H. Holmes? Dr. Henry Howard Holmes, also known as Herman Webster Mudgett, is considered to be America's first notorious serial killer. He was born in Gilmanton, New Hampshire on May 16, 1861, and he was put to death by hanging on May 7, 1896. Jenkins, 2018. From a young age, Holmes was a troubled kid, displaying disturbing behaviors such as performing surgeries and autopsies on small animals, Mankey 2021, and as a child he showed an intense interest in the medical field after an incident with his classmates. With the good grades he received in class, he was quickly able to pursue a career as a doctor. He would bounce around from town to town committing different types of fraud before he would eventually settle down in Chicago, Illinois. Where did he commit his crimes? In the mid-1890s, Dr. Holmes would purchase an empty lot on West 63rd Street in Chicago, Illinois. This three-story building was created by Holmes as a hotel for the 1893 World Fair, and this building was designed to effectively kidnap, torture, and kill his victims without a trace. However, the building was burned down soon after the crimes he had committed were discovered, but luckily they were able to search the building before it had been burned down. The home he had built was not his only hunting ground, however. Before he would build the castle, he worked as a pharmacist for Elizabeth Holton, who would go to vanish shortly after her husband passed away, Anonymous 2022. This is where he would take over the shop and run it. He would go on to commit several counts of fraud, insurance fraud, during this period of time as well. What crimes did he commit? In his early days of crime, like when he was in school, he would typically commit insurance fraud. He admitted to using cadavers from his classes to trick life insurance companies into paying him, Anonymous 2022. However, later down the line, he would go on to murder up to 200 women, children, and men. Guru 2017. What crimes did he commit continued? During his reign in the castle, he would go on to kidnap, torture, and murder dozens of women and children in his basement. This is where he would stretch their bodies, he would skin them dead or alive. He even would burn their bodies in acids to dispose of them. He built a gas chamber to dispose of their bodies, as well as built an oil furnace that he used as a crematorium. One woman, Julia Connor, who was nearly 6 feet tall, was skinned, had her bones cleaned, and she was put up for display as an articulated skeleton, and this was a fate that others had suffered as well. Mankey 2015. So what key factors led to these crimes? When Holmes was young, his classmates shoved him in a room alone with a human skeleton when they learned he was afraid of the town doctor. However, this incident only calmed his fears, and as a result, he became fascinated with the macabre, and he would go on to torture and experiment on animals. He was incredibly deceptive, and he was cruel to other children. Brown ETL 2015, Solid 2021. What led to his arrest? His own love of fraud would end up being his downfall. He would leave his castle with a man named Benjamin Peitzel to scam $10,000 from life insurance companies. Anonymous 2021. He would go on to kill Peitzel along with his 3 children after paying off Peitzel's wife after he convinced her that her husband was still alive. Jenkins 2018. With the fraud being reported to the state, it was only a matter of time before Holmes was arrested. Anonymous 2022. How could this have been prevented? It is difficult to say how this could have been prevented. In the 1890s, it was incredibly easy to change your identity and scam people out of all they were. If the people around him knew the behaviors he displayed would indicate how dangerous he would become, they could have taken him to see mental health professionals. Holmes was deeply troubled from the beginning, and maybe if the world had been more educated about these types of behaviors, lives could have been spared. Thank you for listening, and I hope everybody has a great day.